Here at PAX East 2018. My name's Oscar Khan. If you didn't already know that, I'm CEO, editor-in-chief of Shacknews. We have Thierry from Sabotage. Sabotage, here to talk about The Messenger.
Yeah.
You guys are working with Devolver Digital, right?
Yeah. We got picked up by Devolver right around PAX South. We got in touch, and they liked the game, and obviously we love them, so it's a good match.
Awesome, and we were able to get you guys to bring your Switch from the Devolver booth the whole 10 feet over to the Shacknews booth, right? So let's get started. This is Greg, by the way. You guys know.
Yeah, I was on a few minutes ago, but we have a new host now. I've been demoted.
Yeah, Greg has been demoted to the second chair.
No, all right.
This is the dunce chair.
When there's important people here, you get to talk to the CEO of Shacknews.
This is true.
So I'm going to do the demo mode.
Yeah.
Do you want to hold your mic?
We are playing this on Switch. Yeah, you might need to
I'll hold your mic. I'll be king of the mics.
Okay. So tell us about some of the influences for the game.
Well, you can probably guess at least one, right?
Is it
Chippendale's Rescue Rangers?
Oh yeah, that's a big one. That's actually a big one. Yeah.
How about Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah, maybe,
I mean,
right?
there's ninjas.
Yeah.
It's a side scroller. I'm just saying.
Have I been saying it wrong for years?
Gaiden or Gaiden? Is it Gaiden or Gaiden? Why are we asking the French guy?
I think it's technically Gaiden, but I don't know that the French guy knows any more about the Japanese pronunciation.
I've been mispronouncing it
but I think it's
years.
actually Gaiden. So Ninja Gaiden was a big influence on me as a kid, and so it's kind of a combination of that and just a love for speedrunning, which I can do, but I love watching, the GDQ events and things like that. And so it's like, hey, how about we make a game, that caters to that sort of, these players that will just take the game and break it. And it's like, let's do a ninja, because if they pull some crazy moves off, it looks like a ninja that's playing,
I would say in video games, like ninjas and jetpacks are two things that are always interesting. Now, if you give this ninja a jetpack, it could be game of the year. I'm just saying.
So no
Surprise,
because, it kind of breaks the setting, but our ninja does have a wingsuit eventually.
Okay.
So ninja in a wingsuit, how about that,
That's impressive. I can mess with that.
Right.
Okay.
So you're playing this bored ninja, so your world is stuck in a curse, right? It's all drowned, it's just one island, and there's a legend of demons coming back, and so you don't get to leave your village, and it's been like that for centuries. All you do is train day and night, and your character is like, I gotta go to history lesson when they talk about magic scrolls and demon armies, and I just wish I could leave, and what do you know? The demons will come back the day you picked up the controller, right? So this is the tutorial bit. So there's no double jump in the game, but we have a mechanic we call cloud stepping, which is basically that whenever you hit something, you get to jump again.
Oh, okay.
That's trippy. That makes for a lot of cool gameplay design stuff.
The idea is you'll be defying gravity, right? So if you can pull it off, you won't be touching the floor for whole screens,
Cloud stepping.
Cloud stepping,
I
because
like that.
when you hit something, it does a little cloud under your character, and you can jump off of it.
I did it.
You did it.
I'm MLG.
See, you're a ninja now. Yeah, there you go.
I'm super awesome at this game already. No, not anymore.
And so again,
You died.
Again with the Ninja Gaiden inspiration, it's all about timing and precision.
Yeah. Ooh,
And so if you can pull it off, it works with enemies and even projectiles. You can attack basically everything, and it gives you a cloud step, if you will.
does that go for these things too?
Yep.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges in making a pixel art game in 2018?
It's ironic because the modern engines do too much, like with all the easing and the visuals and all of that to get retro camera or retro physics. So we're working with Unity, and we had to, do a lot of wrappers to just basically remove all the advancements, And also the other thing is, we want to make the game like not exactly as NES game would have been, but a game that's as good as our memory of these games, because the main thing you miss is being 9 years old. It's not really stiff controls and repetitive music, and which outside of a few classics were the case for these games. So we're trying to go from it should still feel like it's Christmas and you're with your cousin, playing the new game, but then we want to break sort of these limitations to make the game have the game make sense today. So it's retro aesthetics and modern game design is where it's at for us.
So what engine are you running on?
Unity.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're using a few plugins and really worked on the tools at first. We essentially have a Mario Maker, you know. We can just like paint collisions and the grass goes on top, you know, and we brush enemies.
Okay.
So we can try ideas really fast.
Is that built into Unity, or did you guys build the tool set?
We had, so part of it is we built ourselves, but we also went off of a few plugins that were pretty good, you know. You can just buy off of the asset store, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
this guy looks kind of mean.
Kind of.
Ready for boss mode?
I guess I am ready for boss mode.
You know, if we're gonna hit the classics, you need the "I'll kill you next time" bit, you know.
You guys borrow from other genres, not just Ninja Gaiden, but like a ton of others. Talk about some of the inspirations for enemy design and level design and power-ups, because you guys have a lot of power-ups in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a bit of an RPG layer to the game. We have a talent tree going on that you use your coins to spend on it. And I mean, I don't know how much we want to reveal at this point in the interview, but yeah, eventually the game, you know, evolves into like, it has deeper layers, you know.
Give us as many exclusives as you possibly want.
All right,
I love
so
exclusives.
so basically you're playing the game in this classic setting for the first levels, the first around 10 levels, first few hours of gameplay. So it's one level on to the next, you know. You beat a boss and you're on to the next level, linear fashion. You're like, okay, so 8-bit. So players' expectations are very much like the core game design ingredient that we're playing with. So you think you know what it is, you know, you're like, it's 8-bit linear action. And then when you get to the mountain, which is the expected end of your adventure, you can see here you're being given a scroll, you know, basically some hero flew in on a phoenix and went, hey, no time to explain, grab this scroll, and you get to leave the village, you gotta cross our world that's stuck in a curse, you know, to take the scroll to the top of the highest mountain. So you're the messenger, right?
Aha!
So yeah, right?
Ninja Messenger, though.
Well, what do you know? The title makes sense. Yeah.
So that's why you're the messenger. Is there a moment in the game where they call you the messenger?
You get called the messenger all the time.
Okay.
So it's a nameless hero.
I love that.
And so everyone is just like, oh, you're the messenger. And to everyone you encounter in the game, because since you're leaving that village, the world is unknown to your character as much as to you as the player. So you're very much like, you're the messenger, you're in the same shoes, you know? You're like, you see something, you don't get it, your character asks about what it is, because the both of you are wondering, you know?
Uh-huh.
So when you get to the mountain, that's when you think your adventure will end, but it's actually a new beginning. So basically a huge tower phases in, which is aptly called the Tower of Time. And that's when the game, you know, takes a bit of a twist, because up to that point you had been going through fairly classic environments, you know, the marsh with the mushrooms and the catacombs and the bamboo forest, you know, and the glacial mountain and all that. And in the tower, it's kind of like, it's a Tron-like environment. There's like pink lasers and blue crystals and synthwave music, and you're like, what's going on here, right? And when you reach the end of the Tower of Time, that's when the game explodes into 16-bit, right? They're like, oh, you're the messenger, we'll send you not where, but when you're needed. So we'll see that later on in this demo bit. And then you're like, oh, cool, I get to play some more, right?
Yeah.
And so you end up looping back to the beginning of the game, but in 16-bit.
Oh, cool.
And so now, instead of a ninja village, it's a soldier's outpost, right?
Okay.
And then they get attacked by demons, and now you fly in on a mighty beast and go, hey, no time to explain, grab the scroll, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't have time to explain. I don't have time to explain. Take this. Okay.
Yeah, no time to explain.
I'll take it.
We didn't back that thing up with a story that makes sense. No, but yeah, so basically your messenger ends up dying, and so you got to finish this yourself, and that's when it becomes this sort of time-traveling tale, and you realize it was actually a Metroidvania under your nose all this time.
Ah.
And so now all the environments in the game are in both 8 and 16-bit, and the 16-bit supports that you're 500 years into the future.
I was going to say, this game reminded me a lot of Castlevania the minute I picked it up.
Oh, wow, okay.
So just, I don't know if it's the art style or how you guys have the background that's panning, but are you guys, it sounds like you're both also Castlevania fans, not just Ninja Gaiden.
I mean, we're fans of all things retro, you know, and actually all things modern too. We wanted this merge of worlds of, like, again, like I said, the retro aesthetic with modern game design, you know, so. But yeah, we still do like retro gaming nights, you know, and then just get together and try to speed run, but then we can't really do it. Nice. So we wanted to do our own homage, you know, to sort of this space.
Well, it's so appropriate that this game is on Nintendo Switch. At what point during the development process did you decide to have it be a Switch title? Was that from the beginning?
Well, so it's hard to tell because creatively, I've been wanting to make this since I was 8. Since I picked up Ninja Gaiden, went crazy over it, started thinking about characters and the world and the
So this
curse
has
and
been
whatnot.
decades in the making for you.
Well, not necessarily in the makings. I used to like draw ninjas, but then I can't draw. So
Conceptually.
so I picked up programming instead, you know, and then been working for 10 years in the industry, like so growing understanding of how to make games, and always like sort of nurturing this. So the Switch wasn't a thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
At some point, I thought it would make sense on the Wii Virtual Console. As sort of like a pretend added retro title to
Yeah.
it, you know, as if it had been.
You look at Shovel Knight is a great example of that.
Right.
And they had great success on Wii
Oh,
U.
absolutely, yeah.
So it just seems like Nintendo's a good home for these kinds of
Right,
titles.
right.
They've found success on Steam as well.
Right.
You're going to be multi-platform.
So
right?
we're Switch and PC at launch, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's where it makes the most sense. I think the Switch is definitely like especially with the Pro Controller, it's the
what
best
is
experience
this?
you can get. Oh, so that's, yeah.
Hey now.
I'll let you meet this NPC.
Ah, the messenger. Do I look like a shopkeeper? So we can't, I'm sure we can hear this on stream, but we're not hearing this. When people are talking, do you have any kind of
Yeah, there's
sound?
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I
The
enjoy
music
that.
too is pretty good. So our composer Eric, who goes by Rainbow Dragon Eyes as his artist name, so he's working directly off of a Femi Tracker. So like it's an actual NES run, you know, the music, which we sadly convert to Wave, but you know, it's like,
But it's the MIDI.
yeah, it's the
actual-
important.
Yeah,
It's
the
actually
composition
chip
is
tune.
actually old
Yeah.
school 8-bit music.
He's working like with the tracker and everything,
Does
and
the
like,
music change to 16-bit?
oh yeah,
Oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome. 'Cause
So-
that was a huge jump when we
Right,
went from NES
absolutely.
to SNES for music.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
some
yeah.
really iconic games back in the 16-bit era for music.
So he's working off of so Fami Tracker for the NES for the 8-bit soundtrack. So you know, legit NES, if you will. And then when you're in 16-bit, he's playing with the Sega Genesis sample library. So you know, more bass, you know, and more channels, obviously. And so yeah, everything, you know, crossfades to that other world.
I want to hear some working titles you had before you agreed on the Messenger.
What's that?
Did you have any working titles you called it before you agreed on the Messenger, or was it always the Messenger?
So the Messenger was the actual, and so when I did a really bad demo in Flash when I was studying programming in like 2007 or something, I called it Darkest Night because I wanted just to have the big moon, like this level that we're seeing right now is all it's been for a very long time, and I just was like, I like the Halloween color palette, you know, with like the big moon in the background. So I was like, oh, it's just Darkest Night. The whole game will be at night, and then you try to actually make the game and you're like, this doesn't make sense for more than 10 minutes, you know, so it had to become something else, you know, and then, so the Messenger was actually the working title by the time we got a team together.
Cool.
But we figured we
boy.
couldn't really call it that. Maybe because of the Facebook app or whatever, and you know, it felt like the Messenger is maybe too much, you know, you need something more unique or whatever. But then I'm like, no, I mean, that's exactly your function, and that's exactly what your character does. It makes sense. So we'll just keep that, and we're happy with it.
what degree black belt is the Messenger?
What the?
What degree black belt is he?
Oh, I mean, he's a ninja.
Oh, so the blackness of his belt is like the inside of a coffin on a moonless night.
Like, he grew out of needing a belt, you know?
they don't give belts.
He's
at
like,
his
we're
level.
so cool, like, belt. I mean, you're still
Belts?
working on ninja degrees. We're like, forget it.
His
Yeah.
tier's higher than any belt
Yeah,
given.
do ninjas have belts?
You got to remove it before you can cloud step, actually. It's like the final level of, I guess technically he's wearing a belt, but, all right, so you want to go down and right
Ah.
there, yeah.
Always to the right.
So
Not
this is
always. You
where,
said there's a tower level.
yeah, well, not in the demo though. So this is just, in this level, we're showing off the mechanics. So you got to go to the shopkeeper to get all the upgrades that you would usually get over hours of gameplay, you know?
Okay.
So you get the full package right there. You'll see the shifting to 16, and so it may be too hard. I don't mind playing for you if you want.
Okay.
But if you want to try it, I mean,
Oh, he was like, it won't be too hard. I can play if you want. And you're like, no.
some people are able to do it at our booth, so
Oh,
No
do
pressure.
I have to upgrade here, or do I have to get?
oh, you
something
just talk to
first?
him, and at the end of that cutscene, you'll get the package. And also, you're skipping through the explanation, so I'll walk you through it.
I know.
Read.
I'm
Read.
sorry, you gave me the option to do it.
So you got So you got your wingsuit now. So you just want to try jumping.
Do I do upgrade?
It's up to you.
Because I don't know.
You probably want to get that first one.
This one.
Yeah, this one's important because it lets you jump off of the hurt state as you're flying off, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I gotta
So,
get
okay,
more.
so you want to try the wingsuit, so jump and then jump and hold. Yeah.
Oh.
It also gives you a downward attack.
Interesting.
So this is where you don't want to go too fast. All right, hold on. So you can also charge your attack. And when you release, it's like, we call it the rope dart, but everyone will call that the grappling hook, right? So you can use that on rings. Yeah. And then you can charge it from the wall there.
Uh-oh. This is your Celeste skills being put to the test.
All right, you got it.
Now, if it's too hard, Terry will take over.
Quiet you.
You get to die once.
Oh, and then it's my turn.
Okay.
And I'm going to insta-die. Watch.
He's worse at platformers than I am.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't call this a platformer, though. It's more like an action platformer, right? How would you describe it?
Yeah.
Something like
I mean, for me, it's action platforming.
Okay.
But it also has the Metroidvania aspect. So we do have like puzzle, not necessarily puzzle, but like, you know, kind of like this exploration of, ooh, I see there's an entrance here and like 16-bit only, but I have to walk through it there.
Levels. You have to revisit
So
levels.
yeah,
That's
so you
what
got to
I saw
figure out. Yeah, you'll be revisiting all the areas,
Okay,
and
that
you got to
portal
figure
was
out.
pretty cool.
So you got to figure out like how to be shifting back and forth. You don't hit. Oh.
Oh, oh, my turn.
Okay.
So we just met Korbel. So we don't have,
I failed you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. So it's me. I was talking to you, and so license continues, right? That didn't really age well. But then you still need a penalty for dying.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, the challenge is meaningless, right?
Yeah.
So we have Korbel, the little red demon. So basically, Korbel controls time. So whenever you're about to die, he'll appear and stop everything and teleport you out of the situation back to the latest checkpoint. But then he writes a debt on a little notepad and sticks around to steal your loot until the debt is repaid. So he's like your familiar, your condescending familiar.
Go back and get the. Oh, you missed it. That's all good. So that's why he's sucking up the coins, or are those coins, or
because
what
you
do
owe him for dying.
Are those
technically they're time shards?
Okay.
But yeah,
So
it's
he's
what
like
you use to buy your upgrades.
it's like he's the opposite of a guardian angel, kind of. He's like a guardian demon.
He's a greed demon, actually. His like race is greed. They're greed demons. See, now he just got bored, so he left.
So he got his money.
Yeah.
And he's on his way.
He's also kind of on a random timer.
I like that
you
because you allow us to die repeatedly, but you do penalize us.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The idea is that he will roughly like not let you loot the same path twice, you know, because otherwise you'd be like farming gold, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this Korbel guy also gives you like a contextual zinger. Like say you get hit by a projectile, and go like, hey, they never heard of don't shoot the messenger or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So he just gives you, instead of just you die, give you a bit of flavor, you know.
Wait, so do you really say the phrase "don't shoot the messenger" in this game?
Well, not me, but Korbel does, yeah.
He does.
Why? Because he has random quotes, you know. So like
Okay.
if you die in the spikes, he's like, hey, pro tip, avoid the spikes or whatever.
Okay.
And they have like, there's dozens of variety for different contexts, you know, to dying. And also if you keep dying, when he was already there, he gets bored at some point. He's like, hey man, I'd like to be able to use some of that money, you know.
Did you ever play the old school game Kung Fu?
The one that became Spartan X or Kung Fu, the versus fighter.
It might have became Spartan X. It was a side scroller.
Yeah, because there's one you punch and 4 guys die. That's the one because there's another Kung Fu game which is like a versus fighter. You play a guy with pink pants.
Yeah.
And anyway,
No,
I had it on like 90 and 1 or whatever. But that one.
Some of the combat seems a little bit like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a little bit.
How so?
I just like this guy, for instance, the way he's throwing stuff, just how some of your enemies are static.
And some are running. Yeah. Oh, right.
But no, it's the level design's not like that at all. It's just
it's not a straight line.
yeah. I don't think they had the technology
Could you even
for
jump?
it.
You could jump and attack, but it wasn't like they were.
You couldn't jump over people.
Right. Yeah. Kung
this
Fu,
is
man.
clear.
That was
That's
that
old
was a
school.
good one. It felt so powerful. Just like
Right?
you one kick and they just all
I was
die in
into
it
that.
as a stack.
I was super into that game.
Right.
Boo.
Well, like, you have to like hit it and jump, right? You have to like hit
Yeah.
it, and then, so I
You
was-
didn't get the Cloud Step tutorial. That's
trying
kind of
to
unfair.
you
Yeah.
didn't
I was
even-
trying to figure it out.
You got to learn how to cloud step, bro.
Okay, that's what you do it.
You got to
Okay,
master the
fine.
way of the ninja.
I'll
man.
try one more time.
All right.
And then if I suck, you do it.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm already.
Oh, awesome! All right, his turn.
So it's my turn now, right?
That was almost 1 second.
Here's the problem.
No. You said.
Damn it, Greg. There we go. I forgot.
You're like me when I play with my brother. 1 death. Oh no, that death
All right.
doesn't count though.
There we go.
So far, so good.
No. Okay. Okay, so you do have health drops.
Yeah. Also health upgrades, like in the shop eventually with the talent tree, you can like get more hit points, more shurikens.
But the spikes are just
What's the max
death.
health bar that you can get?
At the moment, it's around 8.
Okay.
But we're still, working out balancing. Like 10 felt like just a natural good number, but we found it was maybe too much. Because you don't want to end up with like bosses that have the health bars are just too big. You want your boss fight to be like once you get it and you execute it properly,
Yep.
you're done. So if the health bar is bigger to maintain the challenge, the boss is longer and things like that. So
When you're on the wall, is there a button, like if I'm like this, is there a button just to drop down?
you can press down and A.
Down and A?
And we're debating having like holding a trigger that when you hold it, you don't stick to walls to make it easier to like jump down
Okay.
pitfalls and things like that.
That's almost the opposite of the Celeste buttons.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That's all
Wow,
good.
yeah.
Come on. Okay. I got 3 health. I'm okay. I'm doing it. Am I going in that or no?
Yeah, you got to make it right there.
Okay.
Gotta go right. Right.
It's not always right.
And so you can also attack, enemies obviously, but also projectiles.
Uh-huh.
And they also give you like a cloud.
Oh.
So eventually we pit you against like a big lava pit or whatever, and you got to use the enemy's fireballs, to kind of
Wait,
like maintain your.
do I
hang time.
not always? I don't always have the throwing stars.
So you have mana in the HUD there. So now you're empty. You have up to 3, but you can upgrade it. You can
So-
upgrade your shurikens like they'll pierce the first target, or then 2
Got
targets,
it.
or you have 5 instead of 3, and things like that.
Got it. Okay. I like this mechanic a lot right here. That's cool.
Cool. All right. This is what we use for like this is sort of like our addition to Metroidvania or puzzle platforming or whatever. Is that figuring out which dimension you have to be in for the path to be open? Like this is more of like a moment-to-moment, one-screen thing, where we kind of teach you the mechanic. But sometimes you'll be going on a big trek. You're like you can tell there would be an opening there,
Yep.
but you got to go and then find the portal and then make it back in the harder version of what you just went through. Things. Well, I mean, you can imagine where we go with
That's
that.
cool. Okay. This could get. Oh no, I'm a pro. Never mind.
Are you? Oh. Well, dead end. You gotta go down.
Okay. I know what I gotta do, Greg. No?
It took me a minute to figure it out.
Aha!
Don't forget the glide.
Oh yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So you have to hit it again in the air. Got it. Look at me. I'm gonna go pro in this game.
Oh God. Okay, now you gotta do
So,
what I did.
are you guys already doing speed runs at the office?
We already have a few. So we have there's a speedrunner group in Quebec called No Reset.
Okay.
They're involved with the GDQ and whatnot, and so we became fast friends with them through an event in Montreal, and we sent them a few keys, and they're already like breaking the game and sending us footage of like, hey, we can do this, and it's like, whoa,
Are you-
all right, well, we won't fix that because it looks
When,
so cool.
when it comes to designing the levels, are you trying to think with a speedrunner's mentality?
The
It's
idea,
a lot. What's funny about speedrunning is a lot of the time it requires
They'll come
breaking
up
the
with-
game.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they'll come up with it themselves. But the first pass that we do is we first do like a golden path, which is like you can just brute force like fight the enemies, and go through the platforms. But there's always if you want to maximize with the cloud step and everything, because like you can glide with the wingsuit, hit an enemy, then jump, then reach with the grappling hook, then jump, then glide. So like speedrunners end up not even touching the floor for like.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Terry's gotta do it now.
All
your
right.
turn.
I mean, you almost got it.
I want to see him like.
So
I want to see him.
here
speed
you want to
through
use the grappling hook. So it's on the metric that if you drop down there, yeah, if you just charge your attack and you can get this guy, it attacks for 3 instead of 1.
Oh.
Yeah, and then again, if you charge from there, then jump and release. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I didn't even know I could do that.
See, so it's kind of unfair because you never.
Why
be,
are you shaking your head at me?
You
Like
would
I've
be there
played this
5
before.
minutes in usually, you know. But
He's acting like I've played this before.
I just couldn't figure out the cloud jumping.
Yeah, that's like the first thing. Okay. I was going to ask you about this. Are you going to have weather elements like wind and like snow and rain? Because like there was the snow level in Ninja Gaiden, right? Like
yeah.
There's like
we
definitely
do. So we do the ice sliding floor level, just because you have to. Otherwise, your checklist isn't like complete.
That's right.
But see, that's a good example right there. So when you were down there, you could have the enemies that were jumping. You could have cloud stepped off of them, then use those lanterns to skip. Or you can make a left and use the wind. You know. So that's the idea. Is that there's always
optionality.
The easy or like more obvious path. But if you want to optimize for time, you got to be cloud stepping in a way that's like we couldn't ask all players to do, because we still want everyone to be able to enjoy the story, see all the other environments, and hear the music and all of that.
Boo.
I was so close.
You were close.
Almost.
That's some pinpoint accuracy
Okay.
on that thing.
Well, sadly, I'm hearing we might have to end this a little bit early.
You'll
Oh, okay.
play this all day, man.
I will sit here and play this the rest of the day.
All right.
So you don't have a release date just yet.
No.
Where can people find out more about the game?
So there's sabotagestudio.com. We're also on Facebook, Sabotage QC. We're also on Twitter @Sabotage QC. And obviously, all things Devolver. Devolver's on Devolver Digital, Facebook, Twitter. They'll post our news as well. And yeah, so the game is already up on Steam for those who want to wishlist. We don't
Okay.
have pre-order yet, but if you want to wishlist, to be notified when the game is out. So it should be this summer. Or it will be this summer. We just don't have a date yet announced.
Okay.
It will be coming to Switch and PC simultaneously at launch.
Will you guys come over and to our booth maybe at E3 and talk more about the game?
That would be cool. We might be crunching during E3, so
Yeah.
we're not clear that we'll be going there. But yeah, that might be.
Oh yeah, that is
might be
gonna be
fun.
okay.
That might
well,
be fun.
If you're at E3,
If we have the time, if we're not too busy finishing the game, that would be a cool stuff to do for sure.
awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by
Thanks,
today, and everyone, stay tuned. Check out the Messenger. Add it on your Steam wish list. Bookmark them over on the eShop. And it'll be Steam and Switch sometime this summer.
Yep.
We're going to guess July.
All right.
July 1st, confirmed. You heard it first on Shacknews. July 1st.
Exclusive.
You can email
Thanks,
him directly
guys.
if it's not out July 1st in the Nintendo eShop.